Church, Brother Judd here, and I have some help for your lesson out of Mormon chapters 3 through 6. Now, this is a sad lesson. It's all about the destruction of the Nephites. We've got some of the last words of the prophet Mormon. We have, just some really sad circumstances that are going on here. And so this is a lesson, again, that you want to approach with some sensitivity, recognizing that not only do prophets go through difficult things like this, but your students go through difficult things. And I've noticed that sometimes when topics of kind of an emotionally sensitive nature come up, it's really good to stick with the basics. And so I want to point out a very basic skill that you can utilize throughout this lesson to help things stay focused, to give your students a target to shoot for, and so that it will bring, hopefully, it will bring your students into a place where they feel comfortable to share some of their thoughts and feelings, and you can have a good class discussion. And so the basic skill that I want to talk about is using look for prompts. And so a look for prompt is very basically when you invite students to look for something before you send them into a passage of scripture, or before you ask them to watch a video or read a quote or look at a picture. You prime the pump, so to say, so the students know what target it is that they should be shooting for when they engage with a scripture or a quote or a video or anything else. So here's what I mean. If you come down, the possible learning activity is to engage with a quote here from Elder Spencer J. Condi. The question is asked, if you were in Murray's situation, what would be some of the first things you would do after stopping your car? And so you can ask that question before the video, or you can also ask this follow-up question, ask it before you show the video as well. If you were in Murray's situation, how would you feel if people ignored you? Would you give up trying to save them? Why or why not? And so this initial question kind of sets it up before the video, but if you also ask the question at the end, now your students know what it is that they should be looking for, and it will prime them for better success and help move along. Now they may not know where the question is coming from, but you can just share with them, students, you're going to watch the video and kind of describe what the story is in Elder Condi's video. And I want you to think about, how would you feel if people just ignored you, similar to the video? Would you give up trying to save them? Why or why not? And so then they're thinking about the deeper question even as they're watching the video. Another example from this would be, we've got some prophecies in Helaman from Samuel the Lamanite, and we're invited to read, as you look at those prophecies, notice when the prophecy would be fulfilled. So students, before you go into these scriptures, I want you to look for when certain prophecies will be fulfilled. And then, okay, they know what it is that they're looking for. Also, this question here, instead of asking it after you've had them looking for, I want you to go into Helaman, chapter 13, verses 8 through 10, and I want you to look for prophecies that will be fulfilled. And also, I want you to think about, why do you think God would make this known so far in advance? So I got two things to look for. Some of your students will only feel comfortable answering the basic question, the basic look for question. Other students will feel more comfortable answering this analyze question, but you're giving them time while they are reading to work on it. And this also kind of facilitates the different learning speeds of different students. So let's say that some student is very good at reading and, okay, yes, I found the answer to what are the prophecies and when are they going to be fulfilled. But that next question gives them something to chew on while they may be waiting for everyone else to finish. And then you can have that discussion. It also works with pictures. Students, I'm going to show you a picture. And before I show you the picture, I want you to think about a time when you've been in despair, when you've been asked to do something hard. I want you to look in this picture. First of all, what are just your general reactions to the picture? And how can you tell that Mormon is having a hard time? Okay? I want you to look in this picture. I want you to look for, how can you tell that Mormon is having a hard time? There you go. They could, his arms bandaged. They could come up with all kinds of things. Again, just the look for skill. The last look for skill that I want to show you is here, using the scriptures. So this is kind of Mormon's last message, some of Mormon's last message here in these verses. And again, the look for skill is, class, I want you to read these verses, and I want you to look for some of the messages that Mormon was inspired to engrave for us. And as you read those, I want you to mark the phrases that you think people in our day most need to hear. So oftentimes I've been to classes where you'll read something and then the teacher will invite the student to go back and mark things. Well, just have them mark it as they go. They know the target that you want them to shoot for in kind of setting things up beforehand. So again, it's a very basic skill, this sending students into a quote or a scripture or a picture or a video, giving them the target that they're shooting for, this look for idea. But it really does help keep things very basic. You can talk about, some things like despair. You can talk about other emotionally charged topics and keep things really rooted in the scriptures and in the quotes of living prophets, in things that the curriculum provides, so that you don't feel like you're getting off into the weeds of other things that may not be as solid ground from which we ought to be basing our lessons. So again, I know this is basic. Those of you who have been teaching for a while, you'll be like, great, Brother Judd, look for skills. Hey, we all need reminders of the basics. I need reminders of these things as well. But to make sure we are inviting students to look for things before we send them into the scriptures or into a quote, a video, picture, whatever. Inviting students to participate is always a good idea. This is one way to help us stay focused on our students, but also keep them grounded in the scriptures. And perhaps the best question you can always ask for is, students, I want you to look for, what does this teach you about Jesus Christ? What does this teach you about your Father in heaven? You can use that one at pretty much any point in the lesson, and it's going to bear good fruit. So I hope that was helpful. Good luck in your lessons this week, and I'll have another training for you next week. And until then, take care.